So we all know it's a climate crisis. We know that it's caused in the main by politicians reacting too slow to that crisis, which they themselves in 2015 made the promises of a 2 degree or below Celsius target. Those lost targets are heading towards 3 degrees, which means next century 1 billion people, more or less, will starve to death because of climate change. That despicable fact is something the current economic system sustains. If we don't act now, like right now, then we do miss the targets. There's no way of achieving the targets. I'm not certain 1.5 is even doable, but let's suppose it is. You have to act now. Certainly the 2 degrees, which is doable, again we have to act now. If not, we miss those targets. So what can be done? Well, I think the protest movement is the way forward. I think people who protest and confront the system with their time and their energy are the ones who can tip the system. I certainly think that people who follow the protest groups in spirit but haven't got the time and haven't got the risk factor to arrive at a busy place, you know, they might not have time to get there. They don't want to risk perhaps getting arrested, or they don't want to risk the amount of time they have to give, you know, like 3 hours. Everyone can travel 3 hours and then give 3 hours because they've got kids, so they've got other commitments, they've got places to go. So it's quite a commitment from protest people to actually arrive at a place in a crowd. It's a remarkable, a bit like people go football matches. It's a determined effort. It's not something, you know, they have to save up their money and travel there and stuff. So could you add something that would make it more accessible to help the protest movement? I think there is. It's a very simple method, but the outcome is a devastating blow upon society, and it's a head-on collision with society because it's a head-on collision with the economic backbone, which is the traffic system. So on your way to work, on your way to school, on your way to wherever, rush hour times, it's like where I am now, there's a busy road. You could walk in that road and hold it up for a minute, maybe a bit more, before you move on to the next place, another road. Do the same again and again, then you go about your business. You might drive to work or wherever you're going, stop the car for a minute. You might be on a motorway, you can slow down for a minute, not stop because it's too dangerous. What would that do? Well, apart from places like China where there is no protesters, and where if they did protest they get put in prison, we live in a free democracy forged by protest groups over hundreds of years. And what that would do on a day-to-day basis is stop the whole system running efficiently for an hour, maybe 2 hours, because there's 2 different rush hour periods. And then what you haven't got a protest with a sign saying we want climate justice. What you've got a control mechanism, a bit like a company that, like Facebook, that owns a social media platform. Well, this would be like us owning a traffic platform, something like that, or part of the economy. And if any politician, especially in the UK, who wants to say that we're attacking or we're costing the economy, that would be a false claim, because it's proven by all economic factors around the world, in all businesses and all accepted political societies, that climate change will cost 7 trillion. So their economic ways of keeping to a 3 degree trajectory will cost 7 trillion, whereas sticking to the 2 degrees or below will cut that figure down. So you can't say that people stopping traffic would be going against the system, because it's the people themselves who have to make up the differences. It's the working people who will lose housing, will lose schools, will lose roads, funny enough, and other stuff that's essential to society. The billionaire culture, people who don't pay the right tax, doesn't matter to them, because one losing some amount of money doesn't mean anything to them. Most of their money goes offshore And the game that they're playing, big investment, and for what they see as their world order, they don't pay for. They don't pay the right amount of tax, is my point. So we shouldn't rely on people like that as setting some moral standard, as if politicians and this billionaire culture is moral. It's not. It goes against the money tax system decade by decade, because it costs people more money decade by decade, which costs kids schooling, which costs healthcare, which costs all the other things. So those people who don't pay tax the correct amount, who are billionaires, they're partly to blame for the societal collapse as we know it. And sure, you know, we've got a day-to-day life that's pretty normal, but it's overall it's going to cost future generations $7 trillion. And the people who could have made a change, billionaires, haven't made an impact, and they can't be relied upon, and nor can the media companies, because they don't educate people to these astounding facts. But these facts can't be denied, and they can't be argued against. So any actual attack of the current economic system, my point being, it is a moral upholding of a better economic system, because if you hit a two trajectory, you hit a better economic platform that protects people. And people don't understand this, and that's one of the problems. They just soundbite everything out, that we have to uphold the economy as it stands, which is not truthful at all. So we want to start the revolution, stop the traffic. I call out all people who believe in climate justice from November the 1st. I wish you well.